What can you do if your wife won't talk to you? This is Coach Lee, and I'm going to talk to you about that in this video. And there will be another video for wives whose husbands won't talk to them as well. So look for that in the near future. So let's get started. Number one, if your wife won't talk to you, could it be that you have nothing to talk about, that you don't have common interests and you don't have things that matter to you both that you could talk about? It can also be that you two have not made it a priority, and so you're not very good at conversation with each other. That can certainly happen. You'll notice it a lot on trips you take together where you're driving and there's just minutes or even hours of silence. Sometimes that's perfectly fine, and I will get to that in this video where it's okay to be silent sometimes, and you should want that in your spouse and you should provide that, as a matter of fact. But at the moment, we're talking about what if you don't have anything to talk about? So that's where paying attention to their interests comes in, and unselfish conversation skills really do matter in this moment. For example, if you know that they really enjoyed a certain book, maybe they're reading one, in fact, pay attention the night before a trip, or ask them if they're reading a book. Ask them about the book. And as they start to tell you, ask them about the characters. Why did he do that? Why did she say that? Or if it's a self-help book or something like that, what are you getting out of that? Does the author make sense? What did he say about this particular topic? That's a great way to just get a conversation going. You can also talk about movies that you really enjoyed. Ask them why, what characters they liked, what were their favorite scenes, their favorite quotes, things like that. So that's a good place to get started. Just look at what they are interested in and ask them questions about it. It can certainly be things other than entertainment. It can be things that are in the news. It can be about your friends, maybe things that are going on with them. But look at them, look at their life, and ask questions to get them talking about it. So that's one simple way to do it, but consider that that might be the real issue and not necessarily that there's a problem in the relationship. Number two is that silence is okay sometimes. As a matter of fact, silence is really good sometimes, just to have that peace and that break where you don't feel like that you're having to perform or that you're having to force conversation. It's actually a wonderful thing to be in a marriage with someone where you feel like you can just be quiet. Maybe you don't have anything to say. Maybe you're thinking about something that you don't want to talk about right then. So don't feel like you have to force conversation. If it seems like the person just wants to be quiet, that's okay. And you have the right to just be quiet sometimes too. And the two of you should probably talk about that. You can even kind of spin it positively and just say, I'm really glad that we don't force conversation, or that I don't feel like I have to force conversation around you, and that we can just be, and sometimes that means being quiet. And ask them, do you feel the same way? So that they know that just because there is this silence, it doesn't mean that the marriage is in trouble or that there's something terrible going on in the relationship or in their mind about you or your mind about them. This is especially true for men oftentimes at the end of a work day. They're just kind of zoning out and they don't necessarily want to talk. And women can be the same way, especially if they've been going through a lot of stress. Sometimes they just like not having to talk. Other times they want to open up. So don't always assume that it's a terrible thing if you're not constantly in conversation with your wife. Before I get to number three, get my free mini course on saving a marriage. The link is in the description below, or you can go to myexbackcoach.com. That's myexbackcoach.com. Click on the marriage tab and you'll see it there. It's my free mini course on saving a marriage. It's free. It's on saving a marriage. So go get it. Number three is the silent treatment. It's possible that if you're looking for information on what to do when your wife won't talk to you, that she's giving you the silent treatment. And maybe it's even been days that she just hasn't spoken to you because she's trying to punish you, or you're wondering if she's trying to punish you. There are things that you can do in this situation. You can do a preemptive apology. You can say, I notice that you haven't been speaking to me. I'm sure I did something. Could we please talk about it so I will know not to do it again? Because it was probably just a bonehead thing I did and I didn't know. I'm sorry. If you can say that to her and she can start opening up to you about it without being mean, that's great. Then you're married to a great person who can actually come through on this. But if they continue to be silent to you, that's obviously mistreatment and it's unacceptable. But this person's not perfect. And you knew that when you married them, just like you're not perfect. And so it might be a more difficult road. If they continue to be silent to you, even after you made that statement, let it go. Consider that a seed that you've planted in their mind, that you do want to talk about it. They may have to feel like they have shown you, that they have punished you appropriately. Whatever it is, oftentimes they will come to you at a time in the future, a later time, hopefully that same day. Maybe it's going to take another day or even more. they will come to you oftentimes and talk to you about it and tell you. And they might be upset because they expected you to know. And that's something that you probably had happen before. Sometimes, especially with men, we don't know what we did because sometimes we think out loud or sometimes we don't notice certain details. And that's often because men are more big picture thinkers and women are more often into some of the details. So that can certainly happen. Because if you can figure it out and you go to her and you apologize, you tell her you understand, then you might be able to smooth this over. And she also might still be silent for a time, but the apology is similar to the seed, and in time it will help. And then you can move forward and you can actually talk about it and tell her, please talk to me about these things in the future because I don't know sometimes when I mess up, and that's not because I don't love you. It's just because the way my mind works. Another thing you can do is to write her a handwritten note, leave a rose with it, and in the note just say, I know that you're not talking to me right now, but I just wanted you to know that I love you very much and I want to be a better husband for you. That simple. That's all you would say, and put that where she can find it. Number 4, ask yourself, do you punish the truth? That means if she tells you something that you don't want to hear, that you would react with anger, that you would punish her for it, and it makes her afraid to tell you things, that can make her afraid to even talk to you. And by afraid, I don't mean afraid of your reaction, just that she's not wanting to set herself up for the future for you to act that way when you start finding out more details or if this could lead to an argument in the future. But basically, do you punish her for telling you the truth? When you ask her something and she tells you the truth, even if it's difficult to hear, do your best not to punish her for telling you the truth. You can say, I hate hearing that. I just need some time, or I'm sorry. I just don't want to talk about this anymore. But do your best not to punish her for telling you the truth, or you basically will teach her to lie. And then your relationship is going to go through a lot of difficulty because lying damages it in so many ways, including a drop in intimacy that will come if she lies to you simply because she doesn't feel like you really know her, that she can't tell you things, and so she feels like she's blocking herself off to you. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't feel hurt or even angry. It's just be careful with your response because you don't want to teach her to lie to you. She should always feel like that she can tell you the truth. And the same is true of you with her. She shouldn't punish you for telling her the truth either. So just ask yourself, do I punish the truth? If you do, do better. It will take examples. It will take her seeing you handle this better before she will change. And so you could be in for a difficult road ahead for some time, but persevere and show her that you've changed in that regard. Number 5, find shared hobbies. If you go to my website, marriageradio.com, that's marriageradio.com, and type in hobbies couples can share or hobbies for couples, you'll find it. It's a huge list of hobbies. And what you do is you print it out and you put a dot or a check by every hobby that seems interesting to you, that either you're already doing or you're interested in doing. And then print out another copy and hand it to her. And let her put checks by the things that interest her. Find the things that you both enjoy and both of you pick the top 5 from there and then start doing those things together. That will give you things to talk about, will give you things to do together. It will help you be playmates, companions, friends again, to do those things. Having fun is one of the best things you can do together for your marriage. So go look at that list of hobbies and figure out which ones you share. Choose the top 5 and go start doing those things. You'll be amazed at how much closer you will get to each other, how your conversations will be better, and how you will have fun with your spouse and feel that closeness again. It's really one of the most underrated things you can do for your marriage. And again, that website is marriageradio.com. Number 6, provide small acts of love. Maybe you just start brewing the coffee one morning. Maybe you make the bed. Maybe you pick up her Starbucks order and bring it to her. Maybe you get a bath all warm and ready for her and just tell her, go take a bath and relax. Don't worry about the rest of the evening. I've got it covered. Maybe you have flowers delivered for no reason during the day on some Tuesday. Buy her a book you know she's interested in. Write her a note telling her that you've been thinking about her all day and how happy you are and lucky you are to have her as your wife. Things like that can oftentimes soften her when she's upset about something or she's just not feeling right with the world and she's kind of taking it out on you. She is a human, she is imperfect, and sometimes those little small warm things can unlock her heart, so to speak. Those things can definitely help get conversation going again and for her to at least feel like she can talk to you or that she should. We want her to feel like she should talk to you, and these things can encourage that. Remember to get more information on my free mini course for saving a marriage. The link is in the description below, or you can go to myexpatcoach.com, click on marriage, and you'll see it under there. That's myexpatcoach.com. Click on marriage and you'll see free mini course. Here at the end screen, there's a thumbnail to a video called The Truth About Saving Your Marriage. I encourage you to watch that video if your marriage is having trouble. And as always, you can leave comments asking questions. If you appreciated this video, please like it. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.